And welcome back to Rate the Dream, Life, Love, and Mortgages. I am your host, Melissa Landon, and we are continuing our Military Appreciation Month. And I have Christy Pearson here, who is military spouse and a realtor expertise. And she's going to just discuss some things and some tricks and tips of moving and all the ins and outs. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to share my experience.
Yes, and finally connect. I know you're busy. I'm busy. It's very hard. So give us some background on you, yourself.
Well, my husband and I has been together for 9 years. I've only went through like one deployment. Haven't moved around a lot. He's pretty much stationed, here in Martinsburg at the air base. But I help a lot of VA clients move to and from the area. And I'm a Veterans United specialist, so I'm one of their preferred agents, and I do help a lot of people, like I'm their eyes and ears, so I help them move from out of state and things like that.
Nice. When you have clients that are PCSing into the area, what is some advice that you give them? Do you do a lot of virtual tours? Because if they're coming, what is some things that you tell people? So if they are doing virtual tours, what are things that they should look for or ask their realtor if they're not using you? What are the top questions that they should look out for or be aware of?
Well, basically, definitely start out with a realtor who understands military life, because that's very important as far as moving around, being resilient and adaptable to different situations. Research in neighborhoods is very important. Because you want to make sure the schools are good. You want to make sure the area is good, the neighborhood is, and, even resale. So whenever you go to resell the property, if they move, that's definitely a high area too.
Great. So when they come in and they look, you go over the schools with them. You talk about if they were to move again, if they were to keep the property, kind of what the property would rent for, if that's something that they'd be interested in doing. So you go over all that with them.
Yeah, a lot of sometimes it's sight unseen, so it's hard for a client to actually pick a house when you haven't actually seen it in person. So I'm their eyes and ears. I'm kind of picking everything out that this doesn't look right. I know by experience, this isn't going to go VA loan. So you need somebody that knows the VA loan process, knows what they're going to look for, knows things that they're going to call out, like safety issues for their children and things like that.
Yeah, that's that is key. I was talking to another LO. We did an interview the other day, and we were talking about that. We picked apart the VA appraisal, right? And okay, these are the things. And if your realtor knows when you're walking through a house, or if they're not, right, you're their eyes and ears, you're looking for the chipped paint, the cracked windows, all the stuff, the safety issues that an appraiser is going to look for. So that's key to doing that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that they don't skip the inspection, because that's very important. Just because you're in a time frame, you're in a time crunch, never skip the inspection. There's a lot of things that are not seen on a video. So with the inspection, is very important.
Yeah, I agree. And then you also help people. So if people are moving out of the area, you work with other specialists that are, probably all over the United States. So you can help connect them with realtors. Say if they were moving from here to Texas,
exactly,
you can help them hook up with somebody that's somewhere else, and same thing.
If they don't already have a realtor or connection there where they're moving to, I do a lot of research and connect with a realtor that I think would be the best match for them.
Yeah.
So, that way I kind of do my research and kind of give them some homework questions to answer, to make sure my clients are going to be taken care of too on the other end.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, because it's a big deal. I think we do this for a living, so we sometimes forget. I tell my team that all the time. You'll catch me saying, we do this all the time. We do mortgages all the time, right? You do sales all the time. And so for us, it is all, we forget sometimes, I think, how big of a deal it is for people. And a lot of times military too, right? Depending on how long they're going to be somewhere, it could be first time purchasing, and they have a short window to do it in. So making sure that they work with people that are well-versed in VA loans. And even if they decide not to use their VA loan, that just knows the timeline, the crunch, the, preliminary orders and orders at the end, just the whole, all the way around, because a lot of clients, and they do close, some of them close even power of attorney. So they're not even, they don't even see the house until they already own the house.
And I do like some people need to be closer to the base or to the VA
Mhm.
or certain things. So that's when I am here because I'm close to the area. I know, like, all right, that neighborhood's not going to work, but this neighborhood will, because you're near the VA hospital. Some people are retired, some people are not, but
Yeah,
they want to be in a specific area.
nice. So how long have you, so then did you get your real estate license because you moved around, or what prompted you to become a realtor?
Actually, I was in the medical field previously. I got, and then I met my husband, and he was already in the military for at least 15 years at that point.
Okay.
Um, he actually allowed me to, not quit my job, but kind of focus on real estate that I really wanted to do like full time.
Mhm.
Being a realtor part time doesn't work so well. You have to give it all. You have to go in full time. So that's what he actually allowed me to, study, do the courses, do the tests, and jump into the field that way.
Nice, nice. So you're currently in West Virginia. Is that where you got your license in West Virginia, or did you start somewhere else? Okay.
I started in West Virginia. I'm also licensed in Maryland. I do have a team. I'm a team leader of a team, the Diamond Home team.
Uh,
So I have plenty of people that can help, like if I need to go out of town or, somewhere with my husband got deployed for 3 months. So I needed extra help. And this was the
yeah,
first that I went through with him. And I was emotionally all over the place. But family and friends is really important part of your journey.
yeah. That's perfect. I agree. So when did you get licensed?
2018.
Nice. Okay, so you were pre-pandemic.
And I was so excited because we were, doing lots of sales. Interest rate was 2%. I'm like, wow, is this how it's going to be forever? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's not how it was. And then now I'm really like buckling down to get new clients, and
Mhm.
that I am hooked up with the Veterans United, and they help me, get some clients that are coming to the area.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Anything that we didn't cover that you think anyone watching, something that, they should know? And doesn't have to necessarily be military, anybody in general. I mean, this month we were just focusing on military appreciation, but anything for people moving in or out of the area, or, looking for houses or interviewing realtors, any tips or tricks that you think that you've learned over the years that had you known way back when you bought your first house or when you were younger? Because, the younger generation is definitely coming out of the woodwork of late to buy,
Yeah.
which I've noticed, right? A lot of them are like, all right, we're not going to waste our money on renting. They get right out of college, they get a job, and now they're buying houses. So anything that you think, anyone watching, that you want to share with us?
Basically, like I said, you become incredibly resilient and adaptable to situations. So, you have children, you have pets, definitely research the neighborhoods, even if it's temporary, because like
Mhm.
I said, resell it, or rent it out for income. But being flexible and emotionally strong for my spouse was the key.
Yeah.
The kids, because, they look up to us.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've a lot of people that, come in military too overseas, and they don't know the area. So we, do a good job, or we try to do a good job of,
Yeah.
sending them information on the schools and the neighborhoods, and really asking the questions. Okay, what's important to you in a house? What's important to you as your family? Or, if you don't have kids, or you just have pets, or, vice versa. We try to put them, or give them different options in neighborhoods, because like you said earlier, we are their eyes and ears, more so you guys. I mean, me on the lending side, I follow suit with you guys, but we try to make it as seamless as possible by helping them here, especially not knowing the area. And that's where you guys as realtors come in as the expertise of knowing the areas. So when you're talking to a client, what are some of the questions that you ask them so you can be prepared?
So I know this is very emotional for them. They're
Yeah.
leaving friends, or some maybe family. So this process is definitely hard, especially if you have to buy and sell. That's definitely a hard thing. So I, try to look for, like what's important to them. Like,
Mhm.
it's basically school systems, being near the medical centers. Do they need a yard, like a huge yard, or are they okay? Are they going to be remote? Are they going to, working from home? Is an office required? Just different things that, I like to get from them so I know what to search for. I set them up for some listing alerts to be sent, certain neighborhoods, certain distance from, work, things like that.
And then I think I might have asked you this, but, and then if they're not here, your team will do the virtual tours where now, do you record them and send it to them? You do it live or whatever fits the customer? Have you done both?
Exactly. Whatever fits the customer. I do FaceTime a lot if they have, an
Yeah.
iPhone, or we, different apps. Whatnot is, sorry, not Whatnot.
Oh, WhatsApp. Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what, yes, yeah. So you can record video on that pretty long, and send it to them. The other ones, when you can't send video like on the phone or email. So WhatsApp is very important. Is a lot of military families use that because I can video the whole tour and not break it up into a couple sections.
Those segment. Yeah. So they actually get the feel of like walking through the house. It was funny. I was talking to someone the other day and she said all of non-military people, because, during COVID, she was like, that's kind of how realtors were showing houses, right? Sellers didn't want a whole bunch of people walking through their house. So they were doing the video tours. They were doing all virtual, showings and everything. And she was like, that's how I bought my first house. Cause she was like, we were in Germany and we had to buy a house here and we had kids. And she was like, so now it's more custom. I guess we see it now for everybody, but she just joked and she was like, that's been our life forever. That's military brat life. That's how we bought houses. So no, I just thought it was funny because I didn't realize, you know what I mean? Like if that's not how you've ever bought a house, everyone's like, oh my gosh. And then that was the only way you could buy a house really during 2020. And it was chaos times, but
like sight unseen is very scary. It's a, thing like it's not just like a car you're purchasing a home, which is going to be a 30-year mortgage most of the time. So that's a long time. And then if you have to resell it, we don't want any foundation issues. We don't want any issues like if you have to resell it. So that's why it's very important to get somebody that knows the VA requirements for the loan and things.
Love it. Well, I love it. Well, I appreciate you. Like I said, I know you're busy and getting on here and giving some information. If you would do a little bit more about your company, where you're from, the areas that you and your team specialize in, I would love for you to do a little pitch for us.
So I'm Chrissy Pearson. I'm a team leader and realtor with Samson Properties. I've been with them for about 4 years now. But I also have a team of 4 other amazing women that we strive to help people in all different areas. We are in Berkeley County, Jefferson County, Morgan County. We're in Maryland. We're in Virginia. So we're basically in the tri-state area. It's like 4 states where we help Pennsylvania too. So we're all over the place. Each member has their own state sometimes that they can take care of. Like if I have a client moving to Virginia, and we all help each other. So it works out.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, I again, thank you for coming on, and I hope that we get to, I'd love to have some of your team on here too, and we'll do an intro to everybody.
Yeah.
So again, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to tag Chrissy's information. If you have any questions for her, you can reach out directly to her. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys all next time.